back to my channel. It's your girl Jackie O. If you're new, thank you so much for joining me today. And if you are not new, thank you so much for coming back. Recently, I've sparked some requests here and there on a brand called Artis brushes. So these brushes are supposed to be pretty much revolutionizing the way we approach applying makeup. When I first saw them, okay, I'm like, we're doing the toothbrush thing. It's weird. But then again, I'm weird. Like, I wouldn't doubt that they worked unless I've actually tried them. And so right around the time I started getting some requests from you guys, they actually reached out to me and wanted to send them. So my first initial impression of them is, I think whether or not they work really depends on whether you use them properly. I see some people rave about them and I see some people say they're a gimmick. So I don't really know what to think and I can't really find out until I try them. They are definitely a, what I would consider somewhat of a luxury liner brushes. I have the number 8 oval brush. This one is for foundation. This one retails for $62. And then I have the Elite Mirror Collection. This one retails for $160. And with 5 brushes in the set, that's about $32 a brush, which I don't mind paying for personally if the brush works. The feminine side of me says these are extremely beautiful brushes. It feels high-end, it looks high-end. I know that's obviously not something that's gonna move people to buy it, but personally, I do like products that look professional, that look pleasant in appearance, that will look neat, clean, and just look beautiful. They are extremely soft. I've been reading the tips on how to properly use the brushes as well as watching some tutorials online that I found to be really helpful. And I kind of like practice the motions before I even actually tried them. So now that I've given you a quick introduction on what the brushes are, the price, I don't know if I'm missing anything, but I'll just kind of talk it through while I do applications. So let's go ahead and test these bad boys out. So general rule of thumb is you want to pick the brush that matches the corresponding surface area that you're trying to apply makeup to, if that makes sense. So obviously the face is the biggest part. You're gonna need the most foundation more than you would anything. You would use the biggest brush. Eye area, you would probably want to work with more smaller brushes that will kind of really pinpoint. And then this looks like it would be a great concealer brush, the Elite Oval number 6, this one here. So what I'm gonna do, since I usually start with color correcting, I'm gonna color correct using the Oval 6 brush. Do I really wanna do that? So I'm going to take my LA Girl Pro Conceal. I've already applied primer, by the way. One thing I also should mention is some of these brushes have kind of like a flexy grip on them. So they have a little bit of bend, they kind of give a little bit. All right, so we're gonna go in with the Oval number 6 brush. And some helpful tips. I have my little booklet with me because I like to present as much info. I like to read what the manufacturer says, you know, because that's how you end up unhappy customers when you don't follow directions. So it says, a little goes a long way. Float, don't grind. Glide, don't bounce. Okay, Artis, I'm working with you. So they also suggest that you don't necessarily remove the brush from the face as you're gliding. And I see a lot of swiping, which I'm usually against, but then again, this is pretty much the anti-makeup brush. So you're pretty much supposed to forget everything you think you know about makeup brushes. Okay, so I'm trying to really get comfortable. It is different, it feels different. So far it blends out really, really nicely. I'm actually really, really surprised at how well this is blending. I'm quite satisfied with how that looks. I'm gonna move on to foundation. I'm gonna take my Lancome Tint Idole. And what I've seen people do so far in the tutorials that I've seen is I see them apply the foundation first and then buff it in instead of putting the product on the brush like you usually would with other products or other brushes. So, and I actually like this method better because you kind of save product when you dab it on your face first. We're switching brushes. This is our Oval number 8 brush. This is the big dog. Okay, I'm so scared. Glide, girl. Ooh, it feels so good. These are the world's. Wow, now I see where they say less is more. I get it. I get it. Okay. Lesson learned. Lesson learned. It's okay. We're gonna glide that through. Am I moving slow? I feel like I'm moving kind of slow. It's just, you know, I'm kind of like mentally working my way through this. This is a big change. This is a really big change. Yeah, definitely. I think you'll definitely get better results starting off with less product than I did, but it's okay. I'm using a floating motion more than I am a grinding motion, so very light pressure. The more often you use this, you can probably do this in the same amount of time that you would a regular foundation brush. I feel like for spots, you should probably dab that in. I don't think you should glide that. I don't know. I think gliding is gonna take the makeup off. This spot is really, really dark on this side, so that one always takes work, a little extra work. But yeah, I feel like if you have a lot of spots to cover, the gliding thing may be problematic, but you can also build, especially if you're used to like color correcting first, like I am. So that's just something to be mindful of. Okay, let's move on to concealer. I have the Oval 4, so it looks like this. It's moderately small, looks like it'll fit pretty well in the under eye area. And I'm gonna start off by dabbing my Nars Creamy Radiant Concealer. I don't think I'm gonna apply as much as I typically do because it says less is more. So we're gonna try the building up approach. I almost kind of feel like that may be too much, but we'll see. I'm going in. Ooh, me likey so far. Looking super flawless, girl. I usually prefer a sponge because, oh wow, looking at it on camera, oh, I really, really, really like it. I'm not gonna lie, I have the heart of a skeptic sometimes, especially when I'm really sold on something, like my beauty blender and like my other sponges that I use, but oh, this is bomb. And you know, my eyelids are really dark and it gets really dark on the inner corner. And even the beauty blender is too fat to push concealer in there, but that went right in there with no problem whatsoever. And I love that. Now I wonder if I can use this to apply powder. It doesn't say, but I'm a spontaneous gal. I'm gonna try it anyway. Barely touching my skin, being super gentle. And I dab off the excess once I do dip it in powder. I'm gonna put a light layer of my translucent powder using the foundation brush. Because this is a powder from the tutorials I see them press it in, so I'm gonna do more of that, more pressing. I'm kind of like floating the brush over my whole face, if that makes sense. And then I'm gonna take my Black Up Loose powder. So I always set with the loose powder, but I'm only gonna work that kind of like in the center of my face where I get the most oily. So this is problematic because I think I'm using too many products on the brush at once, but I'm gonna fix that because you can definitely see that. All right, so I usually do my brows next, and I have the linear one. The linear one is said to be suitable for brows. So first, I'm just gonna lightly groom them with a brow brush for the best application, hopefully. Praying to Jesus. I have this one from Kelly Baker Brows. So far, I do like the way that it is distributing product. Personally, because I have dark skin, I would just prefer something that deposited a little bit more color and pigmentation. I mean, unless you're like, yeah, it looks pretty good actually, it does. But I wouldn't do this on its own. I think this is better for someone who already has very full brows and just wants light grooming. You know what? This is a no makeup brow. This right here is a no makeup brow. Okay, use powder and use this brush because I'm a little bit more diva than that. I need to fill them in. How'd you guys like that KBB powder? My first time using it. Pretty good. By the way, this thing I forgot to mention also comes with a microfiber cloth and its own cleanser. And I'm gonna be using this to kind of like refresh the brushes in between uses. So far, I really, really like the finish. I'm gonna try to see if I can do some bronzing. So I'm gonna use the Oval 6 brush for bronzing because just that surface area. What I'm doing is pushing back and forth and then upward, gliding upward for a blended look. All right, I'm also gonna apply just a teensy bit down the bridge of my nose. I'm actually really impressed with how versatile these brushes are. Like, I sat there and I'm like, I'm really supposed to do my whole face with these brushes? These brushes? Really? Really, fam? Like, really, son? But this is actually really working out. And then I'm gonna take my foundation brush and just kind of blend it in so it matches better with my skin tone. So Oval 6 is also for blush. I'm going to use this one from Milani. So pretty. Love the blush application. Let's see how sold we are on highlighter. This is Becca Opal. Yeah, Opal. Same brush. Number 6 is the most versatile out of the entire kit, apparently. Highlight overextending its fleek today. I'm a little nervous with the eyeshadows. This is the Circle 1. So I'm only gonna work with like one color eyeshadow looks because I don't have a crease brush. So I'm gonna start off with this Sultry Shimmer Cream. This is from Sigma. It's just like a gold color. It's one of those colors where if you don't use a crease color, no one cares because it just looks good worn on its own. And I'm gonna take the Oval 4 brush and apply that onto my lid. Should probably apply a little bit more. Okay, a little bit more. I think this one for me is gonna take a little more practice. Probably the brush that has wowed me the least out of all of them, but I also think that maybe I'm not distributing enough color all over. I don't know what, I feel like I don't know what I'm doing right now. And I don't, and that's okay. I'm gonna take this Sigma Midsummer Loose Shadow. It's a beautiful like copper gold color. So for best results, make sure all of the product is evenly distributed on that brush. Okay, definitely better at applying powder products and pigments better than cream, but I also think I definitely need more practice on that cream. Well, just know that if you ever have to do the $20 makeup challenge and you're looking for some tools, I wouldn't be mad at you if you did the Artis approach and used a toothbrush. Not wowed by the eye. I need more practice, faux show. I think this is better for like softer blended looks. And it's also different because I'm right-handed, so it's easier for me to actually do the opposite side than it is my right side, if that makes sense. All right, guys, so that is pretty much the end of my first impressions. So you probably want to know which ones are my favorites. Definitely hands down the foundation brush. Just probably because I'm a foundation junkie, I feel like this one performs the best. I'm not entirely too fond of the eye brushes. I don't necessarily think that you probably won't be able to get good use out of them. Like I can tell you right now, these line brushes are for like lid colors, but will be amazing for liner brushes because I have brushes that are similarly shaped like this. They may not have the same handle, but like I know what their potential is. So I wouldn't necessarily use them in the way that I did in this tutorial. So I would definitely recommend the foundation brush, hands down. This one is the Oval number 8. They have another one, the Oval 10, that's a little bit bigger. And then I really, really, really liked the Oval 6 for concealer. It was probably, in my opinion, these two were the best performing out of the entire kit. I pleasantly was surprised with the lip brush. I think it applied the lip color seamlessly, blended it right into my lip pencil. I didn't have to keep doing that 50 million times, so I love that. I really like all of the brushes. Again, not a huge fan of using the eye brushes for lid brushes, but I did really, really like these brushes. Are they a gimmick? Do they really work? They are not a gimmick because you saw me performing with them and they actually did work. So I would say no, they're not a gimmick. Yes, they do work. Now, you're probably wondering, would I recommend these brushes to beginners or more advanced people? If you're still kind of getting a feel for how to use different things and you don't really know how to use anything, I think you're gonna have a better time learning how to use these brushes versus someone like me who's already seasoned and set in my ways and like I've already been taught the traditional way to apply makeup. If you don't really know how to do anything, you may be able to pick up on that easier than the average person who's been doing makeup for years, like myself. You may find that these in general are just easy to use. Thank you so much to everyone who requested this video. I'm not sure if you guys tagged Artis or reached out to them or what, but they got me the brushes. I love them. They are definitely 2 thumbs up. Those are my thoughts and opinions on the Artis brushes. Thank you guys so much for watching. I feel like I've already done this. I gotta go. Sephora's about to close. I will see you guys on my next video. Bye.